Hi everybody and welcome to video number 2. So for your latest tip, I want you to think back to the performance pyramid that we brought in our first tip. So at the bottom you've got your physical well-being, then we move into emotional health, mental focus and your sense of purpose at the top. Our tip today comes from sports psychologist Kerry Evans. I want you to think about something that is causing you a little bit of anxiety at the moment. And then I want you to visualize 2 columns. The first column is it's something that could possibly happen, which means it may or may not happen. In the second column, it will probably happen. So you know it's coming sometime in the future, so it may be time to start to plan what your actions are going to be in that area. And I want you to place that stressor or that little bit of anxiety in either one of those columns. Now, why it's important and why this can actually help us in terms of our overall well-being is that we tend to spend half of our waking hours thinking about things that aren't happening and may not happen in the future. And that can lead to an unhappy mind as we spend our days with our mind wandering. Remember, our thought process is a lot like our breathing process. Our breathing process is quite unconscious as we move through the day. And for many of us, our thought process is also. We can have a flood of negative thoughts circulating around our mind as we move through the day, which means that when we are faced with real problems, we're not in the mental capacity to be able to deal with them. And not only that, but sometimes our smaller stressors can seem like the biggest problems. So if you bring in that simple exercise where you're putting down what is possibly going to happen, what is probably going to happen, and you decide to focus maybe 80% of your energy on what's probably going to happen and maybe 20% on what's possibly going to happen. So you're not neglecting this area, but you're giving it the time and attention at the moment it deserves. If it shifts over to that other column, well, now you know you're going to put more focus, more of your attention, and start to solve what could be a problem sometime in the future. Try this one, and I look forward to seeing you back next week for our tip number 3.